everything that you need to be safe is within you, that is when we can trust somebody else. This small message is for those people out there who struggle with trusting as I do. Okay, so today we're going to read out something that I wrote, and it's like an impromptu thing that just came to my mind, and I jotted it down. And I think it's a beautiful message, and you guys will love it. So here we go. Trust is either there or not. The middle ground of between the two is just a combination of boundaries, compassion, conflict, understanding, and presumptions. Sometimes it comes easy to us, like a natural flow of energy, but some other times it is overpowered by speculation and its essence is lost. It's difficult to embrace, and it brings this sort of heaviness. The guards around us start becoming like cages. That makes everything within us to be limited only in that space. We get restricted and belittled by our own distrust. Trusting is one of those things that flourishes in safety. When we feel unsafe or insecure, that is when trusting becomes a challenge, one that needs to be overcome. But what helps us gain a secure and safe environment for us to be able to trust is faith. Faith is devotion and is a sort of surrendering to the divine that tells us that no matter where we are, we're safe. We're secure. We can express ourselves in any vulnerability we choose, because our safety is assured by a force so greater and expansive than us that by nature it surpasses all our inhibitions. And now we can be who we are and live as we like, with all the people and things around us in harmony. While we trust that we will be just fine, trust that our truest expression of ourselves is the way towards a fulfilling and happy life, and that we can trust and be vulnerable to people we know have our best interests at heart, and be compassionate to those who don't completely. Of course, it's easier said than done. Trust is something that is very difficult to do, especially in a world where everybody is selfish and greedy for their own reasons, and it's difficult to make out who is greedy and who isn't, because most of the time these same people who are so selfish put on a mask of kindness and compassion and sweetness that is very hard to distinguish or surpass. And so we end up trusting the wrong people and falling into the worst of the situations that anybody could have imagined. But it is to say that a life without trust is a cage. Like mentioned before in the passage that I had written, it restricts us. When we don't trust, we create such huge boundaries. We let us experience little. We let us experience less than what we could have if we were open and freeing in our nature, because sometimes the amount of distrust we have can measure of how much we can allow ourselves to explore the world and with whom people we choose to do that. Trusting is a difficult process, no doubt about it. But distrust is not easy either. It constantly puts us into anxiousness. We're restless, we feel uneasy and uncomfortable, we feel unsafe and insecure, and obviously we settle for much less than what our potential would have enjoyed. And so this small message is for those people out there who struggle with trusting as I do, there's a lot of I have like huge walls around me, and it's not easy for me to let people in. And even when I do, I constantly fear that they will, backstab me, or that there's going to be some sort of selfish reason for them to be there. And so I'm usually just closed off. Yes, I'm confident and expressive in different ways, in ways that is impersonal, in ways that I allow myself to express myself because it won't hurt me. It will only help others and do nothing wrong to myself. But when it comes to vulnerability, it's not just about expressing your emotions or yourself or your thoughts. It's about letting the most sensitive parts of you show and embracing the sensitivity that resides within you. And for me, being able to trust somebody is to let that part of me out and in front of them. And that is like very, very difficult. But more than this being a message to somebody out there, it's a message to me so that I can open up and I can allow people to at least have a chance or, an opportunity to be as close to that vulnerability as possible. Of course, things take time and we don't want to be reckless about anything. But when we consciously choose to be there in this world and live a fulfilling and, live life at its fullest, that is when we say that we will restrict ourselves less. In ways, we will open ourselves more, we'll enjoy more freedom. And the only way we can do that is by trusting that no matter where we are, no matter with whom we are, we'll end up being just fine. And that comes from trusting yourself. So if we can trust that we can handle situations no matter what, the worst of the worst circumstances, and we will surpass them easily and comfortably, that is when we can trust somebody else. So I think the first step is putting that faith within you so that you can, establish it within yourself that you are safe wherever you are, because all you need to be safe is everything that's already at your disposal, and everything that you need to be safe is within you, within your reach, and it's you who can make you safe and you who can make trusting others easier. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that helped you.